Hey there. It is Friday, December 11th, and just got Christmas tunes running through my head, and oddly enough, some of the old religious ones, they get stuck in your head, and you got to just mess with them and mangle them a little bit. This recently, been playing a lot of holiday music around the house lately, and that even sort of inspired, as I talked about in one of the lessons. But John Fahey, I'll get to that a little bit later. John Fahey was a really big inspiration to me for a lot of reasons. I mean, it was the first time I heard a song that I knew that I used to sing as a kid, fingerpicked. And man, I was like 16 or 17 or something then. And it just sent me off on this trying to work on my own arrangements of things and stuff like that. And that was, of course, Grandfather's Clock, something I've talked a lot about in the past. But the other thing I really felt inspired by from Fahey was just start playing and don't worry about what comes out. If something's really dissonant, make it worse. So some of Fahey's stuff, some of his little fantasy pieces do stuff like that, and it can get on your nerves, but it also is it's fun to just play stuff and see what happens and see if you can save it and make it work. Anyway, so that sort of was running through my head when I turned the camera on here and what song was it? Joy to the World popped into my head, and I thought, well, let's see how it would work out on the guitar. And then there was other ramblings. There were a few completely improvised things, but I think there were two main tunes that I heard in there, both old religious Christmas carols. Anyway, this was a really exciting week, kind of personally, for the Hogan family. And some of you, I'm sure, already know. But my daughter, Rebecca, who has been working very hard at becoming a doctor, graduated yesterday as a chiropractor from Palmer, a school here. She's been going full-time for 3.25 years, 13 quarters. And when she started it seemed like this is going to take forever. And sure enough, 3.25 years later, it's here and it's over. So we now have Dr. Hogan in the family, and we are really proud of her and excited. And most of the people, anybody that's been to our camps or knows anything about has ever been here knows Rebecca, and all three of my kids, Corey and Elizabeth too, show up at camp and play songs. So anybody thinking about coming to camp out there, we've got openings. I got a few requests the other day, and now that we're back in the plan for September, now that there's like vaccines and stuff, it's looking pretty promising for September. And we definitely have room we got a little over 20 people signed up, so we got about 10 more spots if anybody's thinking about it. Check the site, internationalguitarcamp.com. But so we had a very a virtual graduation yesterday that was actually one of the coolest graduations I've ever seen, having been to a lot, as you know, parents of adult children. And this one was in the comfort of my own home, sitting on the couch watching the virtual thing. Rebecca and another classmate were in a different room because they all had to be on different links, and because they would flash pictures of each student on the screen when something came up with them. She even won an award and got her name called as the clinician. Oh, sorry, Rebecca, I can't remember what the award was, but that was kind of cool. And so we hour and a half graduation. Watching it on TV was really, really neat. So let's see. Again, congratulations, Rebecca. Okay, enough personal stuff. I've still been thinking about some other Christmas or holiday tunes to do. I think the last two that I've done. Oh no, well, we had one, of course, come out this week, Silent Night. But it's been a while. I know, many of the ones I did were many years ago. I think last year snuck out Rudolph. Was it in A? Oh yeah. Yeah, I forgot I had that really nice arrangement of Rudolph. Haven't thought about it since last year. So, and then of course we got Sleigh Ride came out a little recently too. So I'm still thinking about trying to squeeze one or two more in maybe next week. So if any suggestions, otherwise it may end up being this. I always have to go back and look and make sure I haven't already done these. But the one that is kind of in my head right now There we go. I don't know if I can remember this. Uh-oh. There we go. I don't like that chord. Oh, or that stretch. Okay, I better go brush up on that one. But that's one I'm thinking about. So if anybody would like to see an arrangement of I'll Be Home for Christmas, let me know. Or something else. Got time for 1 or 2 more songs. 2 more lessons maybe before Christmas. It's getting late to be starting Christmas tunes. Okay, coming up, a little review of what happened last week, this week, recently. See what I mean about mangling things? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So it was bottleneck week and Open G week for my lessons. We did have Max Guns N' Roses tune came out this week. It's So Easy, but I spent a lot of time just messing around with my old trusty Santa Cruz guitar that is a joy to play now after what Richard did to it about a year ago. That's the kind of stuff Fahey did in his songs. He would take a normal 12-bar blues thing and go up a step and a half. You know what? I'm going to have to get out. It's in the rafters. Or down a whole step. Anyway, so I had fun taking a little research on the Sailor's Grave on the Prairie. That was the other piece of new stuff this week. We did not get to something that I'd mentioned last week because, unfortunately, Vanessa was a little under the weather. So Vanessa's lesson on the Corrs tune that I'd mentioned, or maybe promised last week. It didn't exactly happen, but that's the way it works out sometimes. So she's feeling better, by the way. Whatever ill it was seems to be gone, and she's back on track. So we'll see something. We'll see that. What's it called? Forgiven, Not Forgotten, I think. Yeah, is the tune she's working on there. So that will be up next week. Oh, but I'll tell you about next week in just a second. I got to change guitars and stuff like that. that is one that came up a month or two ago on the request a lesson or recommend a lesson list, and I'm working on it. So that's Genesis by Jorma Kaukonen. Jorma had some really cool tunes, and this one is the vocal part to it. The whole song is like a 4-measure phrase just done 5 times, and then there are 6 verses and a little. It's probably a 16 measure. No. Yeah. Introduction, or there's a little interlude that is 8 measures of this. It does a little bit of muting here. We got to really work on that. Anyway, so that will be coming up next week, along with the aforementioned, or previously mentioned, from Vanessa, the Corrs tune. That will be up next week. And Max, we're sticking with the instrumental theme that we've been on lately. Max has got a really cool lesson on a Paganini piece. You're kidding. The Paganini of guitar. And, of course, known as a violin virtuoso, but his violin pieces, guitar players love to play them. What was that movie? Crossroads? I think so. There was some the devil played a little Paganini in that, I believe. I could have, oh man, I'd be crossing up my facts. Anyway, so that is what's on tap for next week. And let's see, do I know any other Jorma tunes? Oh shoot, how's that go? Forgot the beginning. There we go. I gotta get to that one someday. I gotta remember the intro. Darn it! Don't try it again. Oh, that's it. Oh, that was lucky. Coolest songs I've ever heard. I guess that's kind of maybe overkill on that, but really fun one. That is his tune "Man's Fate," and someday I may get to that too. Okay, that's it. We're going to head into the next week with some of the tunes that I just talked about, and I hope everybody has a restful and fun weekend.